We'd like to invite you to, on a piece of paper nearby, to write a quote from someone who's helping you stay anchored and present at this moment in time. And write it on a piece of paper, and as people are joining the room, we can share our quotes and our screens can be highlighted. But there's something so beautiful about going in the direction of our mentors and our leaders, and being able to bring them into the room, their brilliance into the room. So pause for a moment and please share a quote of someone who is a mentor or a remarkable thinker.
Folks are holding up their quotes so we can see them. And if you're just joining us, if you have a quote that you love, you can share that as well.
I could read mine, it might be hard to see. One of my 8th graders said the other day, I realized I haven't been learning. You know, just doing assignments isn't the same thing as learning.
Yes.
Here, I can share mine, I think.
Iran got hers up there.
Yep. Can y'all see this? Is it
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Very well.
Very
Beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, to be here, to be in the here and now, solid and fully alive, is a very positive contribution to our collective situation. Thich Nhat Hanh.
Thank you. Beautiful. Sydney.
So people, one of my favorites, wait, am I unmuted? I think I am.
Yes.
One of my favorites, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sydney.
You're welcome.
Jane, what have you got there for us?
Oh my gosh, why did you pick me? Mine says, people who stay up later tend to be more psychopathic than those who go to bed early.
So we are getting going here today with this wonderful brand new event, virtual event. We usually do this in person, but because of the situation, we have moved online like everything else. And so just so you know, those of you who are not familiar with Agency by Design Oakland, we are located in Oakland, just like it sounds, and we do this event in person where we highlight our fellows and their learning and leadership, the things that they've worked on throughout the year. And this time we're doing it in the virtual realm, and there are a lot more people from around the country here than would normally be at our in-person event. So we are going to get started. You just saw some really inspirational and funny quotes, and we're going to get started with our programming for this morning. If we can have the next slide. This is some housekeeping. So if you haven't already, you can introduce yourself in the chat. If you have not signed up for a breakout session, then can you please do that by privately messaging Crystal, in the chat, the title of the choice for your session. You can also get more information on the sessions by going to the bit.ly that you see on the screen. And it's okay if you don't have a choice for a session. You can always stay in this main room, and Brooke and I will be running a session for introduction to thinking routines here. We have a map. And because we are a Bay Area organization, this really focuses on California. We recognize that everyone may not be from California, so you can say wherever you are from in the chat, but we wanted to acknowledge that we are on Native land and to recognize all the First Nations. And if you're able, find your location on the map and use the annotate function, which you can find at the top of your screen where it says View Options. You click the down arrow and you'll see Annotate, and you can pick a stamp. And if you're able to do that, and you can stamp on the map where your location is. If you're not able to annotate, that's fine too. Just take a look at this map and see if you can figure out where you are. Our official welcome. So welcome. For those of you who just came in, I am Paula Mitchell, the Fellowship Director for Agency by Design Oakland. And the reason we are here today is we're here to celebrate teacher inquiry, really cultivating curiosity over compliance, and promoting educational equity. And we're lifting up our 2019-2020 teacher fellows and the fantastic work they've done over this school year. And we want to thank our partners and funders. There's many, many of them. And so you know that all of the leadership team at Agency by Design Oakland are educators. So some of us work part-time at our school so that we can also run this organization. So we thank Oakland International High School, Grass Valley Elementary School, Park Day, and then our funders, our Abundance Foundation, Rogers Family Foundation, Quest Foundation, and we have partnerships with the Culture of Repair Project and Maker Ed. So thanks to all of them for making this possible. So today, as I stated for those of you who are in at the very beginning, we are replicating what would normally be an in-person event to the virtual world. And we're trying to recreate it as much as possible like we would have it if we were all face-to-face. So for our norms, we're asking that you really be fully present. This is very interactive, and the fellows have sessions where you'll be asked to do lots of things and interact throughout. So having a space where you have minimal distractions will really be helpful. We love to see your faces, so make sure your cameras are on. And then particularly when you move into breakout sessions, we want you to consider equity of voice. And one way that we do this in our fellowship is we use something called speaking order. And this comes from Studio Pathways, which we'll provide a link to. But speaking order asks you to think about your position in society. And if you come from a group that has the most privilege in society, then we ask that you take a step back and allow space for folks who have traditionally been from groups that are underrepresented, minoritized, farthest from opportunity. and allow those folks to speak first, and then say your piece. So we're really asking you to be mindful today about how much airtime you are taking up. Now, we're going to zip over to the agenda. We're in our welcome. In just a moment, we'll have some mindfulness, and you'll learn more about what Agency by Design is and where we are now. We'll have some Ignite talks, followed by breakout sessions, reflection, and closing. So our guiding questions for today are about equity. You know, we're in a whole different space than we were before. So what does equity look like? Educational equity look like before, during, and after distance learning? How does intention, reflection, and care influence our teaching and learning? Because we are really very much about relationships in our community. And then we're going to also look at what's the relationship between student agency and equity. So you might want to keep these in mind as we go through the morning, and have a place where you're taking notes, where you're making your thinking visible. If you were in our pre-session, you may have your journal that you made, your little book, but somewhere where you can reflect on these questions. And so educational equity is at the heart of what we do, what we believe in at Agency by Design Oakland. And we know that there's many definitions of equity, but the one that we find really helpful comes from the National Equity Project. And it focuses on educational equity, meaning that each child receives what they need to develop their full academic and social potential. So whatever that takes, whatever that is, we're doing it. As we ask you really quickly just to think about how you are making your thinking visible, as I said, make sure you take notes so you can remember these things, share in the chat. We may ask you at various times to show on the screen something that you've created or written. So keep that in mind as we move through today. And now we're going to move into mindfulness with Aran Hurd. Aran is one of our fantastic Agency by Design teaching fellow alums. She's an educator with a focus on the arts and healing. She coaches, consults, and collaborates with other educators. So let's welcome her to the forefront as she leads us into mindfulness.
Good morning, everybody. If we could all just begin by closing our eyes. You can place your hands in your lap or on your legs or on your stomach. I invite you to do whatever feels comfortable to you. And if we can start by bringing our attention to our breathing. So just noticing that right now in this moment, you are breathing. And what a beautiful thing that is. And then I invite you to notice the qualities of your breath. So is it heavy? Is it light? Is your breath fast-paced? Is it slow? Is the air and the space you are in cool, warm, cold? What are the sensations, the feelings of the air that you're breathing in? As you breathe in and out, I invite you to notice that, and in your mind to just say that. So as you breathe in, say, I'm breathing in. And as you breathe out, say, I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. At your own pace. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. There's no need to change the way you're breathing. There's no right or wrong way. We're just noticing, connecting with our breath. Now I invite you to change that mantra a little bit to I'm here as you breathe in, and I'm now as you breathe out. I'm here. I'm now. I'm here. I'm now. And lastly, as you breathe in and out, I invite you to bring some peace to yourself and some peace to the world. So as you breathe in your mind, you can say, I bring peace to myself. And as you breathe out in your mind, you can say, I bring peace to the world. I bring peace to myself. I bring peace to the world. I bring peace to myself. I bring peace to the world. And I invite you to now open your eyes and rejoin us in community.
Thank you so much for that, Aran. That was beautiful. Got me right back into this space.